House's time. He's wasting the people's time, Mr. Speaker. He continues to be completely irrelevant, Mr. Speaker, because we have an inquiry. We have an inquiry, Mr. Speaker, and I'm not going to anticipate that inquiry.
Danny Shaw is an expert in British politics and joins us now. Danny, thanks so much for your time. Do you believe that the Prime Minister has broken the law?
Look, it's very unclear whether or not he's actually broken the law or whether he's just acted against the spirit of the law and the guidance. And I think it's only through an examination of the full facts, what he did, what he knew at the time, the documentary evidence, that you're going to get to that position. But what I think is clear is that his position is very difficult. I think there's a huge amount of criticism that he didn't show the right leadership. He didn't set an example by clearly abiding by all the rules and the spirit of the rules at a time when the rest of the public in the United Kingdom was abiding by those rules.
There seem to be some absolutely bizarre verbal gymnastics going on, not just from the Prime Minister, but also from members of his own party, his cabinet. The Justice Secretary, Dominic Raab, about 24 hours ago, was asked if the Prime Minister is proven to have lied in Parliament, should he lose his job. OK, for the benefit of the viewers, the code of conduct for members of Parliament is that if your misinformation is not immediately corrected, you should definitely be losing your job. Dominic Raab said in reply to that about potentially lying in Parliament, look, it depends on the context. It doesn't look good for the government as a whole, the way this whole process is being defended, because we're not talking about one party, two parties, three parties. I mean, there are at least 10, I believe.
Yes, look, the rules are quite simple. If you tell a lie in Parliament to MPs in the House of Commons, if you deliberately mislead MPs and it is shown to be the case, or an official inquiry or a review shows that, that is a breach of the code by which government ministers, including the Prime Minister, have to stick to. And if that is shown to be the case, Boris Johnson's position would be untenable. There's no question about that. The question is whether it can be shown that he did deliberately mislead MPs, whether he lied to MPs. And we will only know that when Sue Gray, who is carrying out this official inquiry into parties and gatherings in Downing Street, produces her report.
How much can the public trust that Sue Gray report, though? Some people say she's independent. She clearly is not independent because she's a civil servant and therefore the Prime Minister is her boss. And has it not also been indicated that she won't be looking into any potential criminality? In other words, she won't be looking into whether any laws were broken. And yet the Metropolitan Police, which could ideally look into whether laws were broken, are saying we're going to wait for the Sue Gray report to see if any laws were broken before we investigate.
OK, there are two separate matters. The first thing is that Sue Gray is a hugely respected civil servant who has been in charge of propriety and ethics in government before. She has produced reports that have led to cabinet ministers being sacked before. She will produce that report with thoroughness, with rigour, and with the independence of the role that she brings. Yes, she is a civil servant who is working for the government, but that doesn't mean that she can't be given an independent view about what she finds based on the facts. I have absolutely no doubt that she will do that, but she does not have the power to dismiss the Prime Minister or other cabinet ministers, and she does not have the power to bring a prosecution against people who she believes there may be some evidence that they've broken the law. At the point that she reports, and if she finds that some people may have broken the law or there's evidence that they may have done, I think she will pass her findings on to the Metropolitan Police, onto Scotland Yard, and they will take a decision as to whether to launch an investigation and then determine what should happen as a result of that investigation. So there are two clear paths. She will have an absolutely central role, and she will have the rigour to be able to pursue what she believes has happened here. There are questions clearly about what happens next. If the Prime Minister hasn't been shown to have actually breached the law or break the rules, will he be able to survive? That is a question that will depend on the politics at the time and the support of Conservative MPs.
Yeah, absolutely. The politics are separate to the legal issues around these stories. Danny, really, thank you very much indeed for your time.